Thank you, Chair. Thank you.
Assembly Member Dismore?
What would you think of a council that's planned to scrap its Meals on Wheels service and replace it with, amongst other options, referring people to food banks instead?
Well, I think that all councils are facing particularly challenging financial times at the moment, and they have to make economies where they can. I think it's very important that people who are elderly people in particular who are facing malnourishment should be looked after. I'm sure that no council will want to leave its elderly people without the support of some kind of service, and is making sure they get access to the right sort of support. I'm sure you're thinking of at a guess. I imagine you're thinking of Barnet Council, since you always bring up Barnet Council. If Barnet Council need help and guidance in how to keep their Meals on Wheels service going, I'm sure that Rosie and the food team stand ready to provide it.
Well, it's not going to come as a surprise. Obviously, I am referring to your old friends on Conservative Barnet Council.
I know. Mysteriously, every day. How did the people of Barnet fail to elect this man? It was just, what is going on?
Well,
what happened?
Yeah, well, the fact is, I'm standing up for the 157 recipients of the Meals on Wheels service in Barnet, including the 57% who are over the age of 85. And frankly, to suggest that they might like to go to a food bank instead is pretty appalling.
I have to take. With great respect, Andrew, I have to take your account of what is going on at face value. I have no independent means of verifying here and now what you're saying, but I will, take it from me that if there are serious concerns about malnourishment in any part of London, Rosie and the food team will be on it, and if there's any advice or help they can give to any council, I'm sure they'll be wanting to do that.
Well, there we are.
Okay, thank you very much. Can then go to... Move to the next question. Assembly Member Dismore, tube ticket queues.
Thanks, Andrew. The reality is that you're perfectly correct in thinking that there were some problems with queuing. I did observe some a while back, but the information I have now is that things are flowing pretty smoothly, and there is a vast increase in the number of people using contactless payments. It's quite astonishing. Since the launch of contactless in September last year, 25% of pay-as-you-go journeys are now made using contactless, and it's nearly a third at big stations like Euston. So the move from Oyster to bank cards is amazingly fast.
Well, when was the last time you actually tried to get through Euston Tube Station first thing in the morning in the rush hour?
I regularly use Euston, and I have seen pressure on the system, but the way to solve it is to get the staff out there helping passengers with their various issues and questions.
Well, when I was down there a couple of weeks ago, the staff were helpful. They stopped people going down the escalator because they have the overcrowding in the ticket hall. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You've now got security barriers fencing people off, trying to create new queues to the ticket machines. People queuing up for half an hour. What does this say to people coming to London, for example, for a business meeting, and they find they can't get out of the station promptly due to your queues, the queues that you've created through this system?
There's a massive increase in people using the tube. It's a fantastically successful system, and actually customer satisfaction, in spite of the characteristic pall of gloom that you try to create, customer satisfaction is at an all-time high. The most recent figures show that 96% now think that the staff are helpful, and customers have reported a doubling of the availability of staff at ticket machines offering hands-on assistance to passengers.
Well, instead of listening to the information that you got fed through from your apparatchiks in TfL, why don't you go down and have a look for yourself? It's particularly bad in the mainline stations like Victoria, King's Cross, St Pancras, Liverpool Street, Heathrow, as well as Euston, all places where we see overseas visitors. And I don't think they're going to feature in your surveys, are they?
You won't make your
Do you
point
really
any better
want new visitors coming to London for their first experience to be queuing up for ages just to get a ticket to get out of the station? Is that really the impression you want to create of London? It's hardly the impression that Pericles would want of Athens, is it?
Well, actually, I regularly use the network at all times of the day, and I have in the last few months I have noticed great pressure on it, but that is basically because of the massive rise in ridership. I think there are now 25% more people on the tube every day than there were when I was elected. 25% more. It's a huge increase.
And your changes have made things worse, not better, in the terminus. When are you going to admit that there is a need to revisit your plan, particularly for the mainline terminal, for new people coming to London who don't know the system?
No, that would be entirely retrograde, since what customers value and what customers want is somebody out there helping them.
What they want is to be able to get a ticket quickly and out of the station. And visitors from abroad, visitors from other parts of the UK who don't know the system get stuck in these long queues, and the queues that you've created.
Well, it's not true, because the queues have very largely abated, and that's because people are switching to contactless payment of one kind or another, as they do in many other cities around the world. And there are many cities which now use contactless payment systems, and we are, as it happens, far ahead. But we are managing the huge growth in our ridership, I think, very well indeed. And I think if you want to go backwards and reinstate the old-fashioned ticket offices, then you must be out of your mind.
Let's move to the next. Sorry, did you want to come in, Assembly Member